Plastic Tea Cactus here, welcoming you to the game plan video for Oros the Racist Dragon. Now you might ask, just what exactly is a game plan video? And to that I say, screw you, buddy. What, you too good to watch my Joyride game plan video? You want to make me explain it a second fucking time over here? You know, I put a lot of time and effort into that last game plan video, and you can't take the 5 minutes. No, I told myself I wouldn't do this. A game plan video is like a deck tech, but a lot shorter and hopefully more entertaining. I'll tell you all about what my new Oros deck wants to do and how it's gonna do what it do. All the while slipping in a few key card references and smarmy little magic MS painting drawings. I think this one might be Soren riding Oros into war with little marshmallow guys? I don't know. So let's get right to it. Oros' path to victory relies on 4 basic card types: board wipes, mana ramp, annoying artifacts, and big white guys. But before I get into all that nonsense, I want to assure you all that old man Cactus is finally getting hip with the times. Yes sir, even though I haven't played a standard game since the Innistrad games, I'm going to be including a heap and helping with brand new cards and Turkey cards that you sprightly young whippersnappers are always going on about.
Check 'em out, dog. I got some pretty nice stuff over here. Some good removal, some good planeswalker, and a couple of creatures. Yeah, we got Utter End, exile target, non-land permanent. It's like, an Oblivion Ring that doesn't have a drawback. So, give it to me. Then we got the Crackling Doom. I think this is kind of neat. I was struggling between making room for either this or the Mardu Charm. I think just having a card that makes your opponent sacrifice a creature, especially their, in theory, best creature, is a little more important than the charm. I mentioned board wipes, right? So here's a board wipe. Looks pretty good to me, especially against Voltron decks. Nice. And then we got the new Planeswalker, Soren Solemn Visitor. I like the art. I think the art's pretty cool. He's a pretty stoic dude. I don't care about Solemn. I'm talking stoic over here. And I think that his -6 ability is really good in Commander, provided you're not against a token deck. So we're going to try him out. And then we got a couple of creatures. Zergo Helm Smasher. Seems like he could be a good time. I'm a big fan. And Butcher of the Horde, which, I'll be honest, I don't have a whole lot of creatures that I want to sacrifice. I believe I'm playing Heliod. And maybe one other thing that makes tokens. Yeah, Elspeth. So his second ability, his sacrifice another creature, Butcher of the Horde gains Vigilance, Lifelink, or Haste until the end of turn, isn't necessarily going to be seen every time he's in play, but it's good to have the option just in case.
Okay, so back to those 4 basic card types to ensure Oros' victory. The mana ramp is pretty self-explanatory. I have to be able to play my big expensive Borkers as soon as possible. That's just how shit works in Oros Town. I don't need to get into the exact cards that'll help me do this, but here's a little glimpse.
See, now what is that? 13 or 14 beef helpers over here? Looks like it to me. That's quite a bit.
Now, as for those board wipes, well, Oros is a late game all-star, doing no small part to the rules I've insisted upon for the deck. I've got an awful lot of high-cost monstrosities. I need a way to stall the game until I've got all Aunt and Uncle Nasty Pants doing dirty on the playing field. If I don't draw that ramp, board wipes are that way.
So many goddamn board wipes. And yes, Sunblast Angel counts. I got the 2 basic ones, Damnation and Day of Judgment, for super early games if my opponent gets a crazy start. Hallowed Burial and Terminus for Planeswalkers. Got a couple of things that take care of artifacts and enchantments as well. And then, something that'll give me a creature. Something that will prevent death effects. And Blasphemous Act, because it's pretty sweet, and I am in red.
And mainly for funny giggle splurps, I've thrown in some utility in the form of artifacts. Just a couple of niche little knickknacks that pester the antagonist of my dragon story. Here's a couple of what I'm talking about.
Just a few nice things, just a few nice things. Oblivion Stone could also be put in the board wipe category. It's good to have, for sure. Takes care of everything, and I could be a little bit selective with the second ability. Mimic Vat. All my guys are pretty sweet to copy because they're gigantic. And my opponent could be playing some nice stuff too that I'd want to take away from him. And then I got the defense grid to hose the control decks. All my spells are sorceries except for like 3 of them. So this is going to work really well in a deck like mine. I got Crawl Space to hose the token and mini decks. And both artifacts / enchantments that I can play. I'm not playing the hammer, but the whip and the spear fit pretty well with this deck. Again, all my guys are gigantic, and it's cool to get them back onto the battlefield, even for just one more turn. And Spear of Heliod makes all my guys bigger and can destroy things that come my way. Always good to have a little bit more spot removal. And then obviously I have Staff of Nim, which is, in my opinion, the best artifact in Commander. I can't think of a single deck that wouldn't want this. I can't. Even things that are like, oh, I want to play small cards. Well, you know what? This card will make it so you could draw all those small cards. So it's perfect. Staff of Nim should be in all decks.
Finally, we have the creatures. It's a known fact that Oros is the most racist of all the magic creatures. Hey, I don't want to hear it, Crovax. You're at best a general in Oros' army of bigotry, so yeah, move along. Anyway, there are only white creatures here. Just white creatures. I won't describe every one of them to you, but I've got a few key players for your viewing pleasure.
Now again, these are not all of the creatures in the deck, but there are a small sampling that I think are worth talking about. First off, we've got Ashen Rider, an Angel of Despair. Single target removal in Ashen Rider's case, twice. And then we got a couple new cards, newer cards anyway. Resolute Archangel, I feel, is pretty much an auto-include in most white Commander decks now. Why not go back to 40 life? Then Soul of Theros, I've never played with any of the Souls before. I'm excited to try one out. This one seemed, in my opinion anyway, better than the black and red one for this specific deck. I think that since my early game isn't super, if I, fuck up a little bit and I'm behind, this first strike / lifelink ability is going to be relevant. Even if I am only getting in with one big guy, like a 5/5, gaining 7 life might be all that separates me from a loss. And then I've got my legendary package over here. Lots of legendary creatures. Cassandra Battle Sage, another hoser for the slower decks, the control decks. Works for me. Crovax, Ascended Hero, as mentioned before, the general in Oros' racist army of bigotry. Other white creatures are getting a boon, while non-white creatures are not. Then we've got a Chroma and Avacyn, a couple of sexy angel ladies who make everything swell. Tariel, because putting some stuff from the graveyard onto the battlefield seems like it's just a fun ability. And I can play him. I can play him because of the colors. And I have never played Tariel before. It just seems like it could be fun, especially in Commander when there's all these crazy creatures coming around. I board wipe them all, and then I Tariel them back onto my field. Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight. Doing double damage. I don't know why I wouldn't want that. And Iona, Shield of Emeria, the dickiest card I'm playing. Completely fucks over monocolor decks. I kind of feel bad playing her, to be completely honest. Every time she's played against me when I'm in monocolor, I get pretty furious. But I've never actually used her before, so it fits too well with what I'm trying to do in this deck to not at least try her out. If I'm turning around too many games with her, then I will get bored and I'll cut her for something else. But this is the only real opportunity I have to screw around with her.
So that's about it. I hope you enjoy the deck. It seems pretty strong to me. I'm excited to try it out, as well as some of these newfangled cards you youngsters love so much. I guess all that's left now is to show off Oros' brand new theme song while displaying the deck in its entirety. Turn the video off now if you hate awesome stuff.
So many different races on all the magic planes. Different colors, different faces. Yeah, diversity's what reigns. But if you think that there's no room for prejudice and gloom, I'll introduce you to someone who thinks that you're a goddamn fool. He's got a name, he's got a name, and a big old batch of foul breath to make sure his hatred stings. He's got a name, he's got a name. He'll spew forth his dark ignorance upon fucking wings. He's got a name, he's got a name, and the list of unacceptables runs clean on off the page. Goblins, I don't really like them. Spiders, I'm really gonna fight them. Vampires, hey, fuck those guys. Zombies, why won't they just die? Krakens, soggy ass bitches. Lamias, dirty sewer witches. Tree folk, naughty fucking low-size bearded dwarves. Every one of them's a boozer. Centaurs, the old little bears, old gorgons. Never comb their hairs, no loxodons. Hey, actually, you know what? Those guys are pretty cool. He's got a name, he's got a name, and he started the first chapter of Fantasy KKK. He's got a name, he's got a name, and in case you haven't heard by now, Oros is that name.